I need your report, mercenary. Word reached me that Councillor Jirik was murdered. What about Sophus and Valeria? And did you find definitive proof that the Dark Brotherhood is our culprit? That's the Black Hand, symbol of the Dark Brotherhood. I wish Jirik and Sophus had allowed me to assign brigadines to protect them. At least Valeria, however reluctantly, agreed to a military escort. Did you and Everly uncover any other information? It appears that Councillor Leviticus's trust in the Wood Elf was not misplaced. Very well. You and Everly can head in and talk to the Councillor.
Captain Rian and the Ivory Brigade will deal with the Dark Brotherhood. We're perfectly safe in here.
Your damn empire, Leviticus. It no longer exists, but it still causes us trouble.
You must be the mercenary that Captain Rian told me about. And I see you're working with Everly Sharparrow. Good. Good. I assume you have something to report. I'm listening. Damn it all to oblivion and back. I should have taken Pharaoh Lupus more seriously when I received his letter. This is definitely the mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Anything else to add to this? Yes, that's the Longhouse Emperor's code. Only a handful of Imperial scribes can decipher it. I know one. Baragon. I'll send for him at once. Meanwhile, we must warn the remaining councillors on the list. Eibor, Valeria, Itinia, and Vandacia. Very good. I've sent messages to Itinia and Vandacia already, as neither of them are currently within Leowin's jurisdiction. I need you to go to Fort Blueblood. Councillor Eibor has taken refuge there, but I'd prefer to have her here in Leowin. Everything we do now must be swift if we are to get ahead of this. Go to Fort Blueblood and convince Councillor Eibor to return to the city. She'll be safer here than at the fort. Sadly, no. Whatever Leovic confided in Pharaoh Lupus and the others, whatever he ordered them to do, he kept it a complete secret from me. I suppose he assumed I wouldn't go along with anything illegal or Daedric, and he was right. I was, but the Elder Council was made up of almost 24 councillors. According to the list Everly Sharparrow brought me, only 7 councillors were privy to this secret. Make that 6. I have no idea why Leovic listed me among that group. Who knows what was going through Leovic's head when he wrote that entry in his journal? Varen and his rebels were literally pounding at the doors of the palace at the time. And Leovic wasn't totally in his right mind even before the rebellion. Eibor has always had an affinity for the Imperial military. When she received her letter of warning from Pharaoh Lupus, she sent word to me, told me she was going to the fort, that the soldiers would protect her. I fear she is badly mistaken. Only a token force of Brigadines guards Fort Blueblood. If the Dark Brotherhood is truly our enemy, I fear a lone assassin can bypass the fort's defenses with relative ease. Eibor would be better off here in the castle. Go and bring her back at once. The Longhouse Emperors were Reachmen, who seized control of the Empire and ruled for some 40 years. Dukarach the Black Drake founded the ruling house. Morikar ascended to the throne after his father's death, and his son Leovic followed him. Leovic made a mistake. When he decided to declare Daedra worship as the law of the land, Duke Varen Aquilarios objected. He led a rebellion and personally dispatched Leovic in the Imperial throne room. Thus ended the Longhouse Emperor's reign. Unfortunately, no. Varen disappeared a few years later and the Empire collapsed. Now the so-called alliances are fighting over the scraps and Tamriel is in shambles. We're doing all we can just to keep Blackwood safe and secure.
Fort Blue Blood? That's to the east across the river. I'll meet you there.
Is there something you wanted?
Welcome to Leowin, citizen. Our city is a jewel on Topol Bay, safe from the ravages of that insane war. Thanks to the Ivory Brigade and Captain Rian's Brigandines, we are totally secure. Now, please go about your business and have a nice day. What an odd question. I am the ruler of Leowin. Of course, I allow the Chamber of Legates to deal with the day-to-day bureaucracy of the city, so I may concentrate on more important matters. Now, away with you. I have important matters to deal with.
We better hurry. I came a long way to make sure none of these council...
Well, we can't wait any longer. We should begin the experiment.
With no porters, no assistants. This endeavor's been a farce from the start, Revis. Now it's a doomed one.
Well, here's a turn of luck. It's me, Revis. You helped me out of a scrape in Nisus some time back, remember? Quamamine, tonal resonator, devoured bard. Good times. Anyway, here we go again. You, me, and an experiment going poorly. House Telvanni is funding a practical test of my latest invention, the Phantasmal Sensor. It exercises spirits, ghosts, and other spectral beings near instantaneously. The unquiet dead claim countless lives each season, but no longer. The porters and assistants I contracted with have been waylaid in Narcissus, some manner of food poisoning. I'm desperate for an extra set of eyes and hands to help with labor and preparations. Nothing dangerous, I assure you. Oh, I'm so relieved you agreed to help. Before you arrived, I feared my overseers at House Telvanni really might... No matter. Tyrus and I already set up a small field laboratory in the ruined Veyond. Meet us inside and we'll get started. Certainly. It's a wedding of Barrelzar's theories on the interactions of tonal and spectral forces with a resonance housing of my own design. Activating it should render any ghosts in proximity completely mute. A clever bit of engineering, I suppose. What? No, I'm extremely excited about it. My superiors in Tel Naga called it a product of minor interest. Believe me when I say that's as robust an endorsement as I'm ever likely to earn. If the Telvanni Council thinks it's worthwhile, so do I. Tyrus is a junior Oathman of House Telvanni. At this point in his education, he's obliged to accompany a spellwright like myself on a few field excursions, sort of an apprenticeship. Honestly, in his case, it's just a formality. Tyrus is an incredible talent, of the sort that only appears once in a generation. What's more, his family is extremely well connected. He lives the Telvanni creed effortlessly. I wager he'll be Archmagister one day. Really putting me on the spot, aren't you? There are aspects of Telvanni culture I find abhorrent, the practice of slavery being chief among them. We do what we can. When the only alternative is exile, it's complicated. When you're on a mission to quiet down restless ghosts, you go where the restless ghosts are. Angry spirits pile up in these Ayleid ruins like weevils in a hollow log. Feck only knows why. I've never taken much interest in Ayleid history. In Morrowind? Ha! I wouldn't think of it. Silencing an ancestor is blasphemous, even if some of them deserve it. My Aunt Cernsea can't let a visitation go by without complaining about her urn. We know you wanted purple. Get over it already, right?
Taking assistance from random passers-by. The Magisters of the House will most certainly have opinions on this. This is easily the most important experiment in Revis's unremarkable career, and he's soliciting aid from random passers-by. Of course he is. It would be depressing if it wasn't so predictable. I am Tyrus Terethi, firstborn son of Fothis Terethi, and adopted nephew to Magister Thorana of Telbranora. I can tell by your vacant expression you're not well acquainted with the current affairs of House Telvanni. No great surprise there. I see. Some minor errand, I assume. The house does not make a habit of employing imbeciles. You must have some talent. I take some comfort in that. I often ask myself the same thing. The Telvanni Council insists that prodigies such as I leave Morrowind for a time to experience whatever this is. It makes us more worldly, I suppose. An insufferable waste of time, if you ask me. That's a charitable way to put it. Technically, I am Revis's student, but he's taught me very little beyond how to fumble aimlessly from one disaster to another. I can't wait for this to be over. Brevis, a crumbling ruin is an apt place for your final experiment with House Telvanni.
Finally, we can get started. There's a lot riding on this experiment's success. So yes, let's all stay focused and diligent. And also very, very careful. I need you to paint some stabilizing runes around the area to reinforce the sensor's magics. They're not all that elaborate, I promise, but do be mindful. I'm not leaving anything to chance this time. Here are the materials in a template. I infused the paint with ground soul gems to reinforce the rune's potency. At great personal expense, I might add. Right, Tyrus? There's no price too high for success. Try not to use it all right? I have a few more calibrations to attend to. As for Tyrus, he'll probably, observe, for educational purposes. You can speak with him if you have any other questions. Set guide you, my friend. Remember, precision is of the utmost importance, so no loafing or dawdling, you! I'm sorry. We're supposed to use harsh declaratives like that to motivate people. Are you? Yeah, I can tell you're motivated. Great. That's great.
Soul gem-infused runes slathered on alien walls. The poor condition of the stone combined with imprecise template virtually guarantees a lack of efficacy. What is Revis, an amateur? What am I saying? Of course he is. Finally, someone else makes an astute observation. Congratulations! You've just become the second smartest person in the room. The runes Revis wants painted will have, at most, a negligible impact. They're essentially just expensive vandalism. Don't be thick. I have nothing to learn from the likes of Revis Demnevani. This is a mere formality. When I ascend to the Council, I will make weeding out hedge mages like Revis my first priority. Oh, yes. Revis knows where he stands with the Telvanni Council. On a precipice. And after today's nonsense, he will finally fall off.
Welcome back. The runes are in place, right? I'm anxious to begin the experiment. Excellent. By the three, can I just tell you how refreshing it is to hear a voice of support? Thank you. Now, the next step is a bit more complicated. I need you to assist me with a phantasmal sensor's kindling sequence. These magical pylons provide the key. Fair warning, they can be a bit unruly, but the fundamentals are sound. Spectral energy will pass between them freely, but sometimes the crystals dislodge. If that happens, I need you to reattune them. Just pay attention to the energies flowing between them. If no spectral motes pass through one of the pylons, you'll know that's the one that needs fixing. I should warn you, if you try to attune a functional pylon, you might feel a mild shock. It's nice to have a willing pair of hands to assist me. Tyrus seems well acquainted with instruments like these. He could make a real contribution if he wasn't so set on observing all the time. I wish I could convince him to help. Ah, well.
Well, Aren't we supposed to be helping Revis with this folly? No, a lot. I'd barely left the cradle when I erected my first arcane pylon. But if you're asking me to assist Revis in this buffoonery, I'd sooner put trousers on a Vardvark. It's just as fruitless, but infinitely more adorable. I suppose that's your attempt at being clever. Very well, I'll rise to the bait. The sooner we're done with this, the better. Know this, however. I'll not employ his silly whack-a-hackwing methodology. Witness a true mage in action. If you're quite finished, Revis. An artless configuration, to be sure. Balancing the crystal resonance is simple enough. There, a perfect calibration. Much good may it do you.
It's working. Just a moment more and... What? Why isn't it... Good grief! Damn it all! I triple-checked the pylons last night. I field-tested the rooms. I've read everything Barrelzar's ever written aside from his fetching diary, and it still doesn't work. Still! Why won't it work? It needs to work! No. No! You followed my instructions to the letter, and I practically killed myself proving out the theories in my laboratory back home. Literally. My eyebrows only recently grew back. It can't just be bad luck. I must have missed something. Something in Veyond. Some arcane anomaly that disrupts the function of pylons. Of course, the ruin I choose to work in suffers from some heretofore unseen pylon scrambling hocus pocus. Just another day in the life of Revis Demnavani. Well, we need to find the source of the disturbance. Take Tyrus and explore the lower chambers. It shouldn't take him long to identify the culprit. Just make sure to keep him safe. If anything happens to him, my Kwama is well and truly cooked. Right. I'll stay here and inspect the instruments. Again. If I didn't find any flaws the first 3 times, I doubt I'll find any now. But who knows? Maybe Tyrus is right. Maybe this is just a huge waste of time. What do I think? What does that matter? The Telvanni Council detests my work on duemitonal mechanics. They want nothing to do with my study of rare eggs. The phantasmal sensor is the only thing I've ever created that won their approval. Really that important? Well, of course it is. I'm a member of House Telvanni, for Vex's sake. If the Council drums me out, what would I do? Who would I share my theories with? No, once that door closes, it closes forever. It's unthinkable. Absolutely. Yes. Maybe. I don't know, but I have to try. Would I rather be poking around in a dwarven ruin, unraveling the mysteries of tonal architecture? Yes, but no one ever said arcane practice always leads to excitement.
Let's get this farce underway. This tunnel. Vex head. Be on your guard. Trolls! Hideous savage beast! Keep that brute away from me! There, in the distance, more alien masonry. Finally, no more mucking around the dirt like some clumsy salt rice farmer. There's a strange aura on the other side of this door. Can you feel it? What am I saying? Of course. Finally, Now then, these Vala stones are clouded, some manner of arcane erosion. They must be the source of Revis's trouble. Destroying them in this state could generate an explosive burst of magicka, and draining their power is no small feat. Unless, of course, you happen to be me. Smash away, hero, and let's get out of this place.
Tiris, the interference. I think it may come from clouded...
Vala stones? Indeed. The Help and I already dealt with them. You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. Wait, does anyone else feel that?
Intruders? Get out! Get out!
A spirit. Stand back, both of you. It's time for a true test of the phantasmal sensor.
Get it away from me! Back, you creature! I mean it!
Wait, Tiris! No! Ah! Oblivion, take me, he's dead! Tiris is dead! This is a catastrophe! What are we gonna do? I tried to use the phantasmal sensor to quiet that alien spectre, but Tiris panicked and started to banish it with his own magic. His banishing spell mixed with the sensor's power and whoosh, snuffed out like a candle. I'm doomed! Just vanished. Yeah, sure, just vanished. To the afterlife! This is classic Revis, you know. I'm a pox. I'll just need a moment to think about what I'm gonna tell the house about Tiris and the sensor, wherever it flew off to.
What is happening to me?
Oh, Tiris. Even now I can hear him in my mind.
I can't. Help me! Use the sensor!
Tiris, he's not gone after all. Please forgive me, Sarah. While I was wallowing in self-pity, you were out here trying to clean up my mess. And by the three, Tiris still lives. Or exists at any rate. What happened when you found him? Along with the clouded Vala stones. Interesting. The sensor might have prompted some kind of animus inversion. The specifics can wait. Whatever happened, he's still aware of his surroundings. He might be able to fix this. We? No. I've done enough damage. I'll come along, offer scholarly advice and such, but you're the only person I trust to see this through. The first step is finding Tiris. His soul seems bound to the ruin and these stones. The clouded Vala stones are sort of thickening the magical fabric of this place. A soul like Tiris's would cause ripples. Allow me to make a small modification to the sensor. There. If you use it now, it should illuminate Tiris's path. I've proven beyond shadow of a doubt that I can't be trusted with that thing. For anyone who is not me, using the sensor is quite simple. Activate it, and a mote of spectral energy should coast toward Tiris. Just follow the mote. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Best to focus on navigating the ruin. I seriously doubt that Bayon's shown us all its nasty surprises.
The light! The clouded light! It calls! Hurry! I can't any longer!
Tyrus, and more clouded Vala stones. By the 3. Were the aliens selling them wholesale? I'll probably regret this, but I'll try to attune the stones. You push them out of position. Maybe that will set him free.
No, not enough!
I know that did not look like a success, but I think I know what's happening. These clouded Vala stones. The aliens wouldn't have carved imperfect stones in this quantity by accident. There's intention here. They're meant to attract spectral energy like moths to a flame. That's why we keep finding Tyrus among them. Well, it doesn't just yet, but we're definitely onto something. The sensor can banish the stones, and my attunement spell can stabilize them long enough to dislodge them safely. You are one step closer to fixing this. You? What do you do now? Keep tracking Tyrus. I'll try to puzzle out a way to use the sensor and attunement spell to restore Tyrus's corporeal form. We have to move quickly, though. If we don't reach him soon, critical animus decay might set in. That's because it is bad. Let's pick up the pace, all right? Over there! It's Tyrus!
It's so close!
I think I know what's going on. Tyrus is trying to resist the pull of the clouded Vala stones, but his strength is waning. Luckily, he's running into these smaller stone clusters, sort of like falling out of a tree and hitting all the branches on the way down. I'm wagering there is a greater load of this clouded glass somewhere in the ruin. A stockpile or something that dwarfs these other Vala stones in size, potency, or both. Tyrus should eventually find himself there. I can't imagine it will be pleasant, but with enough of the clouded glass in one place, we might be able to create a large enough resonance to restore Tyrus's corporeal form. You using the phantasmal sensor, and me using the attunement spell. I have to. Without my attunement spell, the sensor could banish Tyrus for good. I can't hide from this forever. I am a mage. Hapless and clumsy, perhaps, but a mage all the same. I owe it to Tyrus, to you, and to myself to try. This plan will work, right? Of course it will work. Just follow that moat. I am. It might be a bit morbid, but all this dashing around and puzzle solving, it's why I love being a wizard. I'd nearly forgotten that with Tyrus and House Telvanni pushing me around. We all have to follow our bliss, right? Mine's in old ruins. Aeum's mercy. Tyrus is fading faster. Quickly, just smash these stones and we'll hope for the best. There. Now, use the sensor. We have to find the central load. This is it. Vex's head. It's not a cluster of glass. It's an entire well. All right, let's go over the plan. We were looking for a pile of clouded glass, and instead, we found a limitless font of unstable magicka. Shame we have to destroy it. But let's be honest, I would have found a way to accidentally destroy it before long. Are you ready to save Tiras? First, we need to replicate the original event. Aim the phantasmal sensor at him and unleash its power. While you're doing that, I'll cast the attunement spell. Weaving the two together should dislodge his animus and restore his corporeal form. Much less confident than you'd like. If it's any consolation, most magisters aren't certain of a hypothesis until they test it. Our test just happens to have the potential for cataclysmic results. Discharging spells and jangling magic sensors in front of an unstable well could prove explosive, but nothing is certain. Magic is more art than science. At least that's what I tell myself in situations like this. 7 in 10, give or take. You've faced worse odds before, though, right? Come on, hero. Let's do some heroing. It's working! We did it! Tiras, are you all right?
Revis! I am alive! Oh, thank you! AM's mercy, I thought I was dead! I never should have cast that. But the ghost was there and I just panicked.
Oh, dear. There, Tiras. Why don't we head back to camp, all right?
I'm writing the Magister straight away, Revis. You'll receive accolades aplenty.
Oh, that's, very generous, Tiras. Thank you. Well, this is unexpected. I'd resolved to spend the rest of my life in exile, but now Tiras is singing my praises. Do you think he hit his head or something? I guess anyone can have a change of heart when they have a brush with fate like this. Hopefully, Tiras' testimonial will earn me some latitude with House Telvanni. Not enough to rise in rank, mind you, but enough to keep them off my back for a while. None of this would have been possible without you. Thank you, Sarah. Safe travels, my friend. And if you ever find yourself in Nisus, feel free to drop by. As soon as I can, yes. The censor was always a means to an end. Tiras' letter should give me the boost I need to continue my real work. Rare eggs, dwarven machines, vegetable conjuring, all the bizarre obsessions that House Telvanni scorned. Ha! No. I'm far too clumsy to evade the Telvanni Council's contempt for long. But we have to treasure the time we have, right? I'm sure I'll make some really worthy discoveries before they start nosing around in my work again.